Yo, what is going on? Hi, TF Mob. It's your boy Booba back with another video. And I just wanted to do a Friday review as far as what the market has done so far based off of what we analyzed earlier on Sunday and also on Wednesday with the follow-up of the trades that I took then. So right now, as far as the main pairs I'm watching, I'm gonna try to keep like you may see me do other pairs at time. You may see me do cryptos, especially with like weekend trading and stuff like that. But I try to stay focal to these specific currencies again. And so as far as the market movement, it's been a bit consolidative, but you were able to catch moves on these larger candles if you were there at the times that the markets were making the moves. So for me this week, I had pretty much like a break-even week. But as far as the setups, I'm just starting to see more clarity on what should be happening long term. So right now, looking at AU, I'm going to go over these pairs top down again. Looking at AU earlier, I did get into the AU buys, and I remember talking about the potential continuation. Let me move this out the way. But I did talk about the potential continuation we would see from that buy after this impulsive buy up, and price did not continue. And this is a prime thing I wanted to kind of bring up in this review, is that, hold on, actually, I do see the buy setup now. This is like a Friday setup that I would take and aim for those highs again, because again, we still have price coming back to our flip zone, and as well as price having a new swing high, which would be way up here. Okay, because this peak low is what led to this high breaking. So we have our new swing high up here. Boom. Okay. So what I wanted to bring up in this video was that when we have those very strong buy moves or sell moves in one direction, the chances of it continuing are fairly low unless the structure of the high frames makes sense for it to keep going. And this is, again, why we focus on high time frames, because it'll only make sense as to why a trade would go further higher or retrace. So starting from the weekly, we had this week start off with those fake out sells. I got into those buys, and we had the pullback around the Wednesday reversal. So after that Wednesday video I posted, we saw that the buys were spiked up. I had profited about 300 off that, and then price made a strong retracement, literally that Wednesday moving into Thursday. So this was the retracement. I was going to sell it down, but in my mind, I didn't think it would go against this impulsive candle this far. So it did. And in my head, I was like, okay, I'm going to leave it alone and kind of look for the next opportunity that shows up clear. So right now, from what I'm seeing price kind of respect these lows. And again, I want to wait for candle timings for my entry. So around 8, this will probably close bullish or bearish, depends on how it wants to close. Can't predict that. But when I get the confirmation there around 9, I'll be looking for that entry on the hourly. So right here, we had this retracement happen, and a lot of that was due to the next daily candle wanting to make that pivot. Okay, so the next daily candle was already set. It was setting up the sells after those buys. The next daily candle tried to bluff, and I got into the continuation. I got stopped out, but I didn't risk a lot because, again, I didn't expect it to just continuously keep pushing up, especially the way the structure looked on the 4-hour. It wasn't really set up right for a continuation pattern. So I risked a low amount, but stopped me out. And then I was like, okay, this is a clear sell that I could have taken. But again, it's part of the game. It's part of how it goes. So right now, I will be looking for these buys because, again, we are now at a new daily low candle, which would be this one. Price already came down and tested and couldn't break. And again, you can always adjust the daily open to the most relevant daily open. So right now, if I do it again here, go back to 12. And we'll find our candle. Price opened here, sold down first. And now it looks like we're getting that wick to the downside, which would allow me to use the 15-minute to see whether we're going to close back above or not. So yeah, this is a good setup. It's not too bad. Again, especially if you're trading with high frames, it would make sense that this next daily candle wants to open to rise against this and then kind of give us that signal of if we're going to continue down to our TP1 or if it's going to continue up to our TP1 on the buy side a little bit higher. But again, remember, we're always trying to use those high frames to make sense of and piece together the puzzle. So going to AJ, same deal here. I remember talking about how I got into the buy on AJ and then there was going to be that potential sell. It kind of did the same thing, but we see it respecting these lows, and it looks like the new daily candle open went down first and is trying to respect this low to buy up. So if we get some respecting happening at this high, we could expect the price to sell down to our TP1 on the sell side. If not, we can see it continue up higher. So right here, I can go down to the 4-hour and just see how it looks. Again, our swing high was broken here. So we can make that adjustment. And I didn't do much trading. I don't usually do a lot of trading towards the end of the week because, again, it's usually a lot of traps and stuff trying to get set up. So I try to avoid it. But if I see clear setups, I'll get involved. Like today is a Friday. So again, most professional traders don't trade Fridays, or they'll only trade the Friday morning and then get out by the afternoon. Or if you're just a full-on swing trader and you like to just literally trade daily, 4-hour, weekly, you could literally make your setup, your bias according to what just makes sense overall with the high frame. So again, you would have to use the weekly to kind of make sense that, okay, this has a better chance of, in reality, testing this high and then dropping rather than continuing up. And if this week closes bullish, we can say the opposite and look to close out. So this is where, if you're going to swing, you kind of want to be certain that the move you're in should finish out the structure. But if you're just starting a trade going into the weekend, I wouldn't advise that because, again, you have volatility. There's news that hits on the weekend and you can't control any of that unless you have your stops in place. And even the stops can get, messed with over that. The price can go over your stops over the weekend. So that's also another reason I wouldn't advise it. So here, I did actually find a buy scalp in AJ yesterday that did play out. It actually hit the 3-to-1, but you could just see I used like a very small 1-hour candle to time and pace that entry. And I was actually down on the 15-minute, making sense of the fact that that had to pull back a little bit. And as you can see here, the end of that candle did not hit there. Got very close, but didn't hit. And the reason why I didn't hold that trade was because it was coming out at 4 o'clock and I didn't want to, I knew the spreads were going to probably stop me out. All right. We got this buy setting up. Okay, let's go down to 15-minute real quick so I can see if I like this setup. All right. This is nice. So we're getting that impulse. We're getting the break of the highs. And as you can see, I don't want to really rush in again because I want to see the clarity of the next 4-hour candle. So again, it's 7:37, 4 hours. The next 4-hour candle will open. And if it retraces, then I know to get in off that retracement. And that should continue the pattern up. And that's also why AJ is making that move up right now. So right here, we have our swing high, swing low. We can see our TP1 was hit on the daily buy side. So that played out this week. This would have been a good move for your week, and you could have been done. This could have been a good move for your week. This could have been a good move for your week. This could have been a good move for your week. Again, it's about getting parts of the move. You don't have to get the whole thing. And funny enough, remember I was talking about the flip zone. Price came into the flip zone and respected the previous low, as we talked about, and then did buy up and broke this. So this could also be considered a new flip zone, which is why this could be respecting down here to then wipe out these highs. So again, it's just all about using your high frames to kind of map things out. Here we go. So UJ, this last night I bought when it looked like this. Okay, it looked like that. So this is where with trading, it can get tricky for people because you buy it at a time, it looks like it's setting up, and then it'll reverse on you or stop you out. And you're like, yo, like it looked like a buy when I got in. That's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that because again, you're trading according to what you're seeing. At the time I bought this, it was literally a bullish engulfing candle for me. So I said, okay, let's do a 3-to-1. Let's place our stops just below this candle if price wants to continue its structure up to these highs. But as we can see right now, live time, it's trying to stop people out and trying to throw a fake out. So price is gassed out. Price is coming to test this low now. It did break. Not really. Let me see. Let's drop to the 1 hour. Just make sure. So yeah, it broke through the highs, but it's coming back to retrace. And if it doesn't respect this low, I want out. So that's why I even put my stop loss where I put it. And I didn't risk a lot. As you can see, it's like a couple bucks there. So this is supposed to be it's like a risk of $30 for $100 of return. But again, it's just that factor of doing your math so that you know if you get stopped out, it is what it is. And then you look for your next setup according to your map. So if I were to get stopped out, I would still continue looking for those sells. And funny enough, you guys remember I talked about how if price decided to break through this, I would continue looking for sells down. And what happened? Price hit the block and wiped out every buyer or every seller that was in that sell for that what was presumably our long-term downtrend. So right now it looks like they might just test these highs and then try to bring it back down. And if we make the adjustments necessary on a 1 hour, we can see that our swing low is down here because this was the low that allowed this high to get wiped out. And now this is our swing high, and price is now kind of ranging in a way, but has yet to really break our swing low or our swing high. So all this is game. This whole room, all this space is game as far as price being able to still come back down or go back up. Now we got GJ. GJ was a setup that I took from here. I took it to the downside. It was a winning trade for me. But then I look for a continuation, and here we are now. So price is still trying to respect that high time frame setup. And again, we'll start from the weekly so we can just see what's up. So we saw our week started by buying, then ended up selling off, and now we're getting a little bit of buys going into the weekend. And that's why, again, Thursday, Friday, you can presumably assume that it'll be the trap days. So now we have our daily that ended bearish here. It's kind of respecting the overall downtrend that we see. So we have the price from our peak high to the peak low. This is our lower high, which is now coming down to wipe out our lows here to continue the trend down. And this is where on the 4 hour, I would look at this zone right here as a potential continuation area to continue selling down to TP1. And if you want to give it more room and you want to stick to 3-to-1 every trade, that could work, or this could work here. And then you can use your hour because again, 8 o'clock, we want to see how that 4 hour is going to close to determine how we'll get into the next several candles on the way down. But yeah, you can see how like once you do have that once you have that map, things are more controlled for you as far as understanding why things are happening, which will then in turn over time help you get sharper up on how you want to react with your trades, because every trader is different. Some traders are very like laid back and will let things just do what they do no matter what's happening, and other traders are very like antsy and touchy and want to get in and out and quick compound and close. So with time of just having a map and seeing how things play, you'll literally develop the eye for what you want to do for your approach in the market. So we'll go back down to GU. Now, GU was an interesting trade this week, and I almost feel like it was news that caused this because I was talking about how we had the buys on Wednesday that allowed price to come up above this level. And I personally was looking for that continuation here, but was also seeing the sell. I didn't think that the momentum was going to go twice as strong, honestly, against the momentum we had here. So as far as that was another losing trade for me. But again, do your math and you're still in the game. You can always continue to trade. So right here, price reversed and wiped out all this liquidity that was left behind. This was kind of a range, and it matched up with the weekly outline as far as it needing to go down to collect these pools at this wick. So that was where, when it bought, it was really just the entry into the candle of the week to go down, and it did it very quickly. So this was a setup that I unfortunately missed, because again, I was looking for the buy setup around here, right? And then price made that reversal more sudden than I thought it would. So here you could just see, I'll slow down the speed so it's not too crazy. You see here. So price made that sell down and just wiped out everything. So that would have been the concept of how you use your high frame to tap into this. And it's funny because I really did want to sell it. But again, in my mind, I figured the trend was confirmed to continue higher. But it's simple mistakes, and it's stuff that over time you can adapt to. So this is where we are now, at our current, near our current TP1 level, which does mean that the downtrend is still valid, and our swing low is now here. Okay, because we had this high that allowed that to get wiped out. And if I go down to the 1 hour, we're at our swing low, which does present some buy opportunities. But again, if you want to stick with high frames, you would just wait for the potential setup you need to see to get in, to go further lower. And that's if it decides to do that. So we wouldn't see that type of movement probably until next week, or unless some volatility picks up to just keep pushing this candle lower. And yeah, that's it for my main pairs. So that's all I wanted to do for today, and just kind of show you guys what I'll be looking at as far as just morning setups, and what I'll be looking at as far as going into the next week, because again, it's just piecing the puzzle together and trying to maximize what you can make within that week. And honestly, there was a lot of movement to be making money off of, but to be reactive was very important. So here we have UJ now looking like it's just wicking near that low. So again, if this respects, I can still count this as it's still going to buy up. And this is why, again, not touching things is important. And the main reason why I'm holding it is because, again, on the daily, I have a high frame confirmation of a bullish engulfing. So I'm seeing this as it could keep pushing up, depending on how the weekly momentum wants to carry. So yeah, that's all for today, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I'm trying to work on just getting these guys to you and keeping the video short. But for the setups of this week, we'll follow up on it next week, and then I'll clean out my 1 hour frame information so that things are more clear for next week. And that's really all. Your adjustments should be really made down on your hour and 4 hour, because again, you're just trying to specialize in compounding in those ranges and spaces. So I'll have this all cleaned up, and then you guys will see my Sunday analysis according to my high frame lines. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you guys for tuning in. And again, feedback is greatly appreciated. If you guys can share this with anybody that you feel like doesn't believe this is possible, or doesn't have the understanding of how this can work, that this is the perfect video to show them, and allow them to understand really the art of trading. Because again, trading is not about being right all the time. It's impossible. It's literally impossible. From my 4-year experience, there's never been a year of trades that I've taken that has been right. It's impossible. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good one, and peace out. High TF.